Hiya, welcome back. Fallout 4 mods again. Uh, Instead of stripping down to my skivvies this time, I thought I'd show off the guns that I was, kind of sort of using half-assed in the, last video. There's 4 of them. This is the Barrett. I named it Catastrophe. Nerding out on all these guns, I renamed them. I renamed this to Catastrophe because this is a Barrett. Catastrophe is the name of the last limit break, the ultimate limit break for Barrett in Final Fantasy VII. It's my favorite game of all time, what can I say? This is the LK-05. Named it Goblin because it looked like a goblin from like Ghost Recon to me. Maria, the Desert Eagle, named it Maria because Benny, good old Benny, aka Matthew Perry from Fallout New Vegas, his pistol was called Maria, and the Queen of Hearts on the grip kind of reminded me of New Vegas, kind of. So it's kind of like a Maria Redux, if you will. Punishment, 1911 Colt. Favorite pistol of all time. In anything, real life and in games. Called it Punishment because it kind of reminds me of Thomas Jane's, but it's not his movie, but he played the Punisher. It reminds me of the Colts that he used in that movie. I'm waving this the revolver at you guys, and I called it Rictator because obviously, you know, it kind of looks like a Colt Python, and Rictator, Rick Grimes, The Walking Dead. Shocking, but there is a Colt Python mod, but I don't have that installed. The 44, just for the record, is not a mod. I just threw that in there for shits and giggles. But, showing off, I'm trying to show off, like, each gun in third person what it looks like when it fires, and in first person what the reloading animation looks like, and trying to... Don't want to talk over the gunshots. Trying to show off what they sound like when they fire. And they sound really good. They do. With some gun mods, there's a slight delay between the shooting and the actual sound, just because that's the way the mod's set up. But with these guns, it's kind of crisp. It's real. It's clear. It's not delayed for the most part. And there is going to be some delay with the assault rifles. The Colt, the Desert Eagle, the LK-05, which is the assault rifle, they're all made by the same guy. They're made by the guy named DOOMBASED, who has really good gun mods. They look phenomenal, and a lot of customization options for the most part. Now there are some that have limited ones. Like, this Colt had a shit ton. I didn't even know, like, I didn't expect him to have a rail slide, or a rail mount, so that you could equip the reflex sight, and there's even, I think, yeah, there's a laser on the bottom. Lasers fully work, even in third person. Now, you can't really see the lasers in my third person, or in my first person, because I have the alert carry mod on, so instead of just holding my gun out in front of me, like some kind of scared pup in the woods, I hold them military style. Like, you're ready to shoot, but you're not threatening people in front of you. Also a good mod for anyone that's, like, into immersion. Also, take note that I have the realistic sounds mod. I put it in the description of my last video. That's the echo, the reverberation you're hearing. That's the realistic sounds mod coming into play. Now, the reloading animation on this is a little sketchy in first person, because you know your hands like in the middle of your hands like glitching through the middle of the magazine. But you know that's not something that the mod creator can change on the Xbox. I'm sure on PC it's flawless because you know that's just PC gaming. You know you're more free to modify codes and all that other stuff. On the Xbox, it is what it is. See, you can see her fingernails, the pink fingernails, like in the middle, coming through the middle of the magazine. That XP was me killing a bloat fly off screen. The recoil in this gun is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you can compensate with burst fire, you don't have to go full auto. But as you can see, the recoil is kind of sporadic, and it does go straight up in a line. But DOOMBASED with his gun mods, he has good handful. I want to say close to a dozen gun mods. He's got the modular Kalash, the Colt, the Desert Eagle, the LK05. He's got a Scar. He's got an LMG. He's got a shotgun. That's all I can remember off the top of my head, and that's 7 right there. All with decent install sizes. I'll just provide another list in the description. But, you know, they're a good alternative for someone who wants modern weapons, but doesn't want to spend the 530-something megs for modern firearms. I personally love modern firearms, but the install size is outrageous when you only have 2 gigs. And when you're already, you know, regrowth is the go-to foliage mod for a lot of people. And as I said in my last video, I would use it. I have it installed and I would use it. And I'm not going to install it because whenever I get Far Harbor, it will be the mod I use. But if you're using regrowth and modern firearms, you're only allowed 2 gigs, and that's a good chunk. That's over 3/4 of it right there. But, you know, this is a really good alternative. And for someone who wants all his guns, maybe you're into it, he does have the mods individually, and he has the mods in a lump package. The lump package is around like 300 megs, but it's still considerably lower than modern firearms. Again, not knocking modern firearms. It is a great mod.
You hear that?
But, you know, yes, Kate is still naked. I know she popped in a frame there for a second. She is still, well, I shouldn't say naked, because that's not a thing on console mods, but she's still in her skivvies. She's still in her bra and thong. But,
I'm gonna rip your limbs off.
it's a good alternative, and they're not, like, completely overpowered like the modern firearms guns. This whole thing at Gunner's Plaza is me just showing off, like, the damage output for each gun. Taking into account also that I have the install legendary mods on any gun mod. It's a mod that lets you put legendary mods on any gun. And it has, like, every single legendary mod in the game. I put the Instigator, or Instigate, whatever. It does double damage to people with full HP. I put that on the sniper rifle, because obviously, you know, that's the obvious choice. The sniper itself, I have it modified, with the modifications on it, to the point where it does like 300 damage, times 2, that's like 600. Get a headshot, and that's probably a one-hit kill. And as you can see on some of the gunners outside, I got a one-hit kill on them, and I didn't even shoot them in the head. I think I hit 1 or 2 of them in the chest with it. So, you know, take that into account. But they are effective. I was using them prior to having them modified with the legendary mod. Because it's like 4 science, and I didn't have that until just recently, just like yesterday, actually. I've been doing some stuff behind the scenes. Just regular grinding that nobody wants to watch. But I thought I would just bring these guns to you guys because, you know, they're a good alternative, and they are good guns, and they look great, and they're modern, and some people want that. But
I might be able to get that open.
Let's rock.
and so that's the boss, and just a handful of shots from the pistol killed him. Also taking into account that the pistols and the assault rifle are modified with the 2 shots legendary mod.
There we go.
So instead of firing 1 shot, you fire 2, but it only counts as 1 bullet towards your overall ammo count. So like the assault rifle has 25 rounds in a mag, but in reality you're really firing 50. But in the ammo count you're only losing 25. It's like what's that fucking perk in Zombies? Double tap root beer. You know, it's kind of like double tap root beer. And that was the Desert Eagle. It just cut right through him. And they are in the leveled list. As you can see, these gunners have the M1911 and the Desert Eagle. But you know, these guns were a little bit harder to find because yes, the NPCs sell them, and you can get it from level loot. But these are a little bit harder to find than the modern firearms guns. Mainly in the sense that it took me a while. It took it a while for the store to sell them. Whereas I was level like 3 or 4 going into the museum to save Preston. And I immediately found like a MP9 or an MP5 in a duffel bag on the 2nd floor. Like immediately, I had a modern firearm. So people who kind of, you know, don't want to ruin the experience per se, but still want the option to have that gun, but don't want it so early that it just makes everything else a breeze. You know, it's a good alternative. Here's the sniper rifle in action, 2 headshots back to back. One of them's a legendary, insta-kill. Boom. They are, see, it's really good. No, I didn't even bother to shoot him, I just meleeed him. Now here's the customization aspect. Like with most guns, you know, you can modify the receivers, the barrels, the magazines, except for the Barrett. Now, the other 3 guns, the Desert Eagle, the Colt, and the LK05, are Doom-based. They're made by Doom-based. That's the mod creator, Doom-based. But the Barrett is made by somebody else. And again, you know, I'll just put the list of the mods in the description, unless I've already named them in another video, like the realistic sounds. That's also in here, you know, because the reverberation when you fire the gun. That's in the last video, so I'm not gonna list it in this one. And this is the mod that lets you put the legendary mods on any gun. Yeah, instigating. Double damage if target is at full health.
Yeah.
Now this is Goblin. I will say Doom like put a lot of work into these because not only can you modify it with like the underbarrel, the top barrel, and the scope, You can even set the magnification with the scopes. Like here in a minute you'll see that you can set it to like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. And you have even an option of the scope that you want. And the scopes work with the scopes framework that lets you, the see-through scopes framework that lets you change your reticles and stuff.
Mercy. She's working through the loss in her.
He went in real, he my hat's off to this guy, because he went in depth with some of these guns. I did have the Scar one installed, but I just didn't like the feel of it. I don't know, it's just personal preference. Some of these guns you can equip with camos. This one you cannot. You can also change it to caliber. I kept it at 308 because everything else was basically 50.
Raiders pay for what they've done.
But the camos, like Maria, you can change it from like plain silver, plain gold, engraved silver, or the Scar, you could change it. It had like a hexagon pattern,
I'll try to make
but you could change it from like I think it was offset gray.
Grown man feeling sorry.
There was gray, blue, green, and then plain old green, like just plain green, no design whatsoever, just green, and I think a plain black. He put a lot of work into it. The flashlights,
I know I'm not
you need to craft something at a chem station that lets you change your light source from your Pipboy to your flashlight. I think I show that, like where it is in the utility. The flashlight does work, but you need to set it up so that you can change it for the light source from your Pipboy to your flashlight. I just like the look of it, so I choose to use the one that is always off. As you can see, I modified it with the 2-shot mod. So instead of shooting 1 bullet, it shoots 2. Basically double tap root beer. I was impressed with the amount of customization that went into this Colt, because I wasn't expecting the rail mount. I was not expecting, like, to be able to have the scope and the laser sight. I just wasn't expecting it.
Please, just... I need to be alone right now.
But I'm just bringing this to you guys because I said I would. And I know some people want modern guns, but aren't exactly sure which ones to get. You know, which ones are worth it, which ones are worth the space. You know, are they good? Do they look good? Do they sound good? Because like I said, like the top go-to is modern firearms, but that is an insane install size for someone that only gets 2 gigs of space to use. Same thing could be said about regrowth, but I just like the way it looks.
Building something good, I hope.
And hopefully I get to use it sometime. I might be doing a Let's Build series. I don't know yet. I might be. This is where you find the flashlight toggles in the chem station. But I might be doing a Let's Build series. I don't know, because I have modified settlements with mods. You know, fixed places. You know, like Croup Manor's been fixed. It's an interior cell. Spectacle Island's been fixed. I'm not sure about the castle. I haven't installed, but I haven't checked on it yet. So, I mean, they've been fixed, but, you know, everything outside and inside, the decoration aspect will be me. It's just that I did not fix the buildings. Those are mods. So, I don't know. I might be doing a Let's Build series. It's up in the air right now. I want to, but we'll just have to see how it goes. TheRealElianora, who makes interior cells, She makes amazing interior sills. Hats off to her. She takes pride in her work. The Red Rocket mod that I have installed, just beautiful. My hat is off to that girl. The Pipboy I'm using, I'll list MrJimtastic made that. I fucking love it. It's an Alice in Wonderland by American McGee theme. Fucking amazing. I'll link the clothes I'm wearing too, and the 80s music. Hats off to that guy. But I'll see you guys in the next one.